With Obama's new leadership, how hopeful are you about America's internal security system?
I'm immensely hopeful, and my hope has been renewed recently when we all got very excited when in Prague he expressed his dream for a nuclear-free world. And that was a nice message, and we were excited. But then just recently he's announced that he also wants to have a summit of the nuclear states in March in preparation for the Non-Proliferation Treaty review. And what that shows is that he's taking a step now past just the message. And he's looking at our own security long term and understanding that the proliferation and the development of more and more weapons is not actually the answer for security. For a long time, we've looked at our maintenance of these weapons as the reason we were secure. And now we know that because we have them, others want them, more and more people will get them, eventually they will be used. So it's an issue that relates both to general global security as well as to very real security of our cities and towns in America.
It's a human tendency that once you have power, you don't want to lose it. And will America be willing to lose all its nuclear power?
You know, that's one of the hardest things to address in our culture is this feeling of needing to be on top. And I see it right now with the way that a lot of people are concerned about how we're addressing our economy, that we're addressing it in such a way that makes people want to be on top again. They want to fix it so that we're on top, not they want to fix it so we're stable. And I don't have the answer right now to how you change people's consciousnesses to a point where their own security is related to everybody else's rather than their need to have supremacy. And that's going to be a huge challenge.
Ms. Ellison, we have heard several young leaders from around the world talk about conflict and prospects for peace. How hopeful are you that young people will be the one who will contribute to global peace and harmony?
I am very hopeful because I think that ultimately it is the responsibility of the young people to do this work. They're the next generation, they are the future. But they cannot do it alone, and they need to hear the right messages from those they look up to, those they respect. They need to be educated, and they need people to believe that they can do this work. If no one's putting in a positive energy to the youth, what will they take away from that? So I really feel that youth can lead this and that they should be the ones to lead this. They are tomorrow's leaders. They are the people who will take up this world next, but that it takes some guidance and some leadership from above.
In this world where individuals tend to be very selfish at most of the time, what message would you like to give?
That's, you cannot be selfish, that if you want to change things, you have to start to think about the others around you and realize that what happens in one place has effects in other places, that this is an interconnected world, this is a global world, and either we're all going to rise together or we're all going to sink together.
Ms. Stella Maris, despite Kenya going through several kinds of conflicts, it is also a nation with rich resources, especially the natural resources. Does the young people realize that?
I think as young people, since the last conflict in 2008, we recognized as a country of the variety of resources we have. We have lots of national park, but we also have a human resource that is well renowned in Africa in terms of professionals that are working in different parts of the world. So the 2008 conflict reawakened our recognition as young people to realize how precious our country is.
You work on a global level, not just on a national level. How hopeful are you for your own country?
I'm quite hopeful because I'm one of those young people in Kenya who have managed to bring the light at a global level. And I engage with young people not only in rural Kenya, but also in informal settlements, what people refer as slums in Kibera. And when I sit down with him, they're so convinced that they have to take up leadership. And I go in there to mentor them, to give them examples of people who are doing a difference without being paid, but offering that service at will, because they believe that they can make a difference.
Ranging from the nuclear weapons to small arms, the world seems to be affected by conflict of several kinds. Since you deal with so many young leaders around the world, where do you see the solution?
Solution is the challenge is so huge, and there is no easy solution. We know that, but at the same time, on the nuclear issue, the young leaders here have concrete plan. There is an organization called Mayors for Peace. Mayors for Peace is a coalition of over 3,000 cities, mayors in over 130 countries. Mayors for Peace headquarters is based in Hiroshima, Japan. And this coalition is working on abolition of nuclear weapons. They have already developed concrete nuclear disarmament instrument called Hiroshima-Nagasaki Protocol to the NPT. So there is a specific advocacy point, and we have a particular partner, credible global partner with us. So religious communities, as I said, half of the 4.8 billion religious believers are youth. Youth have enormous mobilizing power. So we are trusting religious youth ability to mobilize their own believers, their own fellow young people to address this issue in partnership with international coalition and international campaign and other organizations.
Reverend Sugeno, in this world where there's so much mistrust and enmity, how can we expect that this message of disarmament will be taken seriously by the world leaders, especially the powerful ones?
That's a good question. President Obama, of course, he is trying to organize the important meeting of nuclear states in March 2010. The President Obama's proposal to hold this meeting of nuclear states is very, very encouraging development, and there are we experienced miracles in the past. Landmine campaign, that's an enormous initiative, and civil society, international public opinion led to the adoption of important international instrument. So we are not discouraged by the real politics and other constraints. We all know that we cannot be naive about those things, but at the same time, we believe in the power of the religious communities worldwide and civil society's power to mobilize people. And if we can change the public opinion worldwide, we can make it. And we should not be just naive about nuclear abolition, but with specific plan. And in terms of military expenditure, reduction of military expenditure, we have to have a very, very clear campaign tactics and we have to have a plan to mobilize religious communities. But religious communities' power is enormous. Senior religious leaders have moral authority, and they can energize people, and they have very, very strong connection with the political leadership as well. So as I said, the young people are not giving up. They are trying their best to influence their fellow people, young people, but at the same time, they are ready to work with Mayors for Peace and other international organizations, and they are ready to go to the head of state if necessary. So we are not underestimating their enormous power. I think I have trust in their power.
Reverend Sugeno, let us hope that someday the world is free from weapons of all kinds, ranging from nuclear to small arms, and we have a better world to live in.
Thank you.
With this hope, I wish you good luck and goodbye. See you next week. Thank you for being with us.